Wicked has extended its run on the West End into 2025, making it the 11th longest running West End musical with over 6,500 performances under its belt. And with the upcoming movie featuring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo coming at the end of 2024, it sounds like this show will paint the town green for a little bit longer. So why would you go and see this musical if there's this amazing movie coming out at the end of the year? Well, let me tell you 5 reasons why I think it's definitely worth it. A lot of people who have seen Wicked have a very personal relationship with this musical, and I have a story of my own to share. Let me tell you a little secret. I actually can't go through the entire song for good without crying, but let me save that for the end of the video. I'm actually getting all teary now. In the meantime, let me know, what is your relationship with this musical? Do you love it? Do you hate it? The first reason was seeing Wicked live on the West End or Broadway, or if it's touring around you, is its music. Amazing Stephen Schwartz made this musical with so much heart and passion and paid attention to every single detail, that every character has a really unique story to tell, and that is not just in terms of the storyline, but it is also present there musically. And there are some amazing, well-established numbers that are so popular in musical theater world, such as Popular, Defying Gravity, As Long As You Mind, The Wizard and I, No Good Deed, For Good. All of these songs are so monumental in the musical theater world that hearing them live with the orchestra and the ensemble and the main cast on stage in front of you performed, I think nothing could really match that. I'm not saying that movie won't deliver on that. Obviously, we have Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. They're amazing performers, and they're like a lot of amazing things that they will bring into this movie and help the story reach new audiences. But I think that seeing it at the theater brings this whole musical in a perspective and makes you understand why it's so established and why 20 years down the line it's still one of the hottest tickets in town to go and see. The second reason why it's worth seeing the musical at the theater before the movie is because you're gonna get the full story in the musical. As you may know, the highly anticipated Wicked movie is gonna be only part 1, meaning that there is a second movie coming up, hopefully. That also means that the story will be diluted and it will be split across 2 different movies. By the end of the first movie, you will be left hanging and you won't know what happens. But I can imagine that it's going to take another 2 or 3 years until we see the second part of the movie. And if you want to know what happens, then seeing the musical will give you the full story of Wicked. The third reason is amazing costumes and choreography that have to be experienced live. Did you know that there are 450 costumes and 240 pairs of shoes that the entire cast is using throughout the show? It is absolutely mind-blowing that that is the case, but also because it's so magical and it takes you to a different world, the costumes really reflect that. It is so amazing to see the amount of green, the emerald green, the great props, and those costumes really elevate the story to the next level and make you feel like you are surrounded with these people from like a whole different universe. If you don't see that firsthand in person, it's gonna be hard to kind of develop that when you see the movie, just because you know the movie is kind of fantasy and it just like sets you there. When you're witnessing theater live, it's a little bit different when it's right in front of you. The Wicked fandom is pretty big, but it's all the time getting bigger, and you don't want to go to the cinema and be the person who doesn't know what Wicked is about, or who is not waiting for that song at that time to see how they've done it. So if you want to go and experience the movie as the OG fan of Wicked, then you have to see the musical before you go and watch the movie. It will just make the whole anticipation and understanding of the movie a little bit deeper, because you know kind of like what you are expecting, and it is all about that connection that you have with the story and the score, which I think if you develop at the theater, you're gonna even more relate to it when you're watching the movie, because you already have a special place in your heart for this musical. And the fifth reason is that this story has been written as a novel first, and then it has been translated into a musical, but it really gained its popularity as a musical, and now they're taking it to a movie. It's going to be a musical movie, so it's kind of original form that has gained access to so many hearts around the world is the musical. I think that experiencing it in that form will give you the true essence of the story, because that is the way that it's intended, and that is the way that helped Wicked reach audiences far and wide. And we got to the point where I need to reveal why I can't go through the entire song for good without crying. And this story goes all the way back to when I was at university and studying abroad in America. And I met two wonderful people who are my really close friends. Hi, Bobo and Yuping. And we fell in love with the soundtrack, and we had access to this piano room where we would go to, and we would sing this song, knowing that actually, because it's a study abroad here, all three of us will go our separate ways after that, and maybe we will never see each other again. And that song always reminds me of the two of them. And look at me, I'm actually getting all teary now, that I can't just help it. And this is such a beautiful musical about friendship and about the power of how people impact you and how they change your life and how they always stay with you, no matter if you're kind of in touch with them or not. If they change you, they kind of changed you for good. This is the reason why I love that song, and I love Wicked so much. And I think every time I go and see it, it just elevates my love for it because it's such a beautiful musical. So I hope I've convinced you that it is definitely worth seeing the musical before you go and see Wicked the movie. And also, Wicked the movie is coming out in November 2024, so you have plenty of time to get your green on and go see Wicked on the West End or Broadway. If you're looking for some cheap deals, I've done this whole video of comparison between the tickets on West End and Broadway, and Wicked is one of the shows where I actually shared the price comparisons. So check that out if you are going to see Wicked.